Yeah, I've had a leak in this car tire for a while. I've been meaning to getting around to find it and plug it or whatever. Um, I thought it might be useful for others to see. Um, these are relatively new tires, so um, as you can see, it's got almost no pressure and it barely moves this gauge at all. So probably gonna need to put some pressure in it before I can even find the leak. It's not like flat, like sitting flat. Like walking by, you wouldn't even hardly notice that it was flat. Um, since it's such a small car, it's a Honda Fit, so there's not really much weight in the back. So it's not like rolling flat, but you can catch it at a glance. So I'm gonna put a little bit of air in it. I already got the jack under the jack point, so I'm gonna jack it up. Really just want it off the ground enough so it'll spin free. I'm not gonna be getting under it, so I don't really see cause to put jack stands under it, but that's not best advice. Best practice is to put jack stands on it anytime you got a jack under it. So usually you want to spin it around, look for any obvious punctures, nails, screws, something like that. I think all I'm seeing are like little rocks in the treads, but I'm gonna dig them out and see for sure. Like that there, that might just be a stone stuck in the tread. Yeah, I don't see any obvious signs of punctures. I've got some spray bubble soap leak detector, usually used for like HVAC refrigeration, or also like gas lines, natural gas, propane. Again, I didn't see any obvious signs of punctures, so it might be leaking around the bead if it was like dry when they fitted it or whatever. But yeah, if you don't have this, you could just use like liquid dish soap mixed with water. It should be pretty obvious wherever it's leaking from. Could be leaking from the valve stem if I didn't say that already. What you want to look for is bubbles that grow, kind of like that right there, but sometimes it's just the smaller bubbles collecting together. I'm not seeing anything obvious, but it is a relatively slow leak. Maybe if I set the jack down, put some weight on it. Oh. I think I found it. See that valve stem? That kind of sucks because these are the one pressure sensors. I mean, it's not. You could just pull them out and replace them with a standard valve stem, which I have done before, because they're like, I think it's like $600 to get them replaced and reprogrammed or whatever, and it's just stupid, useless, worthless technology. Like, I got a pressure gauge, cost $2. I could check my tires, you know what I mean? So it's just like needless regulations in the nanny state. It's been required in the States since I think 2008, where they had like a bunch of issues with them Ford Explorers rolling over, and Ford blamed it on Bridgestone, and Bridgestone blamed it on Ford. So then they were saying it was because they were overinflated or underinflated or who knows what, causing the trucks to roll over. So since 2008, it's been required equipment to have that tire pressure monitor sensor, TPMS, where you got the sensors in your valve stem of your tires that tells you if your pressure's low. But the batteries die in the sensors after a couple of years, and it's expensive to replace them, so nobody ever does unless you happen to live in a state that requires, that'll fail your inspection if your TPMS light is on. This one, I found out if your TPMS light is on. This is an automatic, which I'm not particularly fond of, but it's a nice car. However, if you get stuck in the snow, it'll if you spin the tires, it'll go into like a limp mode or something, so it won't let you sit there and spin the tires. It's the traction control or whatever. So there's like a manual bypass for the traction control, so you can shut that off, for example, if you're stuck in the snow. But if your TPMS light is on, you can't bypass it. So I got stuck in the snow, and I was like just shit out of luck, stuck there. I had to dig myself out. So frustrating. Would have never happened with the manual. So I wouldn't want a car made in the last 15 years. So this is like the last year of a car that I would buy. And if I were to buy another one, I'd get a manual. So yeah, I can replace that with a standard valve stem, but the tire might need to be rebalanced. So might be worth taking it to a shop to have them do it. If they will, or I might just have to change the valve stem. Change the valve stem myself and take it in to have it balanced. So I'm glad there's no leaks in the tires since they are new tires, but the other side also has a slow leak, but it's not quite as bad, so I'm assuming that's probably going to be the same, but I'll check that too. Well, I got the stuff out here. Yeah, I changed the ones I had a Nissan truck, Frontier 2009, and I had to change the tire. I don't know if it was also leaking from the valve stem, but anyway, I pulled it out and replaced it with a standard valve stem. And I remember it being especially difficult to get the one with the sensor out. See, again, if you could see, it's leaking between the threaded part and that housing, so it's not even leaking like where it penetrates the rim. That's like a mechanical failure of the valve and pressure sensor itself. It's not leaking from the valve core, it's not leaking from where it penetrates the rim. It's like an internal leak in the construction of the valve stem itself. So good news and bad news. I don't even know if a tire shop will do that because of like potential liability. They seem pretty cool. They might do it. I don't know. I should have asked them to do it when they were changing the tires anyway, because I knew that they were dead anyway. I've seen people get a new set of sensors and just put them in like a PVC, like build like a PVC housing with a valve stem on it. So kind of like just like a little canister of PVC, big enough to hold those 4 sensors, and they keep it at a consistent pressure just so it'll like get the sensor to shut off. I don't really need to do that because in my state, for now at least, it's not a requirement for to pass inspection, but who knows, that might change moving forward. Everything's a mess if you haven't noticed. All right, well, got this one sorted out. Gotta check the other one. Actually, this front passenger side also gets a little bit low, but not nearly like this one. This one is the worst. The other back one is not quite as bad. This is worse than I thought, though. It's just, like I said, since it's such a small and light car, it can be pretty low and you not even really notice. You know, you just be like going to get into it, and at a glance, it looks like the tire's sagging a little bit, and then you go to check it, and there's like no pressure in it at all, but it doesn't like sit flat like a bigger, heavier car would, or if it was a front tire with the weight of the engine and transmission on it. You know what I mean? So, still not good to be driving around way underinflated. So that's hard on the tires. So I do want to get this sorted sooner rather than later. see if it gets worse with weight on it when I let it off the jack. Yeah, if it's worse, it's not a lot worse, but still something I want to take care of sooner rather than later. Yeah, this one's got about 20 psi in it. Yep, that one's leaking from the valve too, but not as bad. I don't think I'm going to bother jacking it up and spraying it all over the place because I think it's just the valve stems. If it's not like ridiculously expensive, I'll see what it costs just to get the sensors and not have them put it in. But I think they're more expensive than they're worth doing anyway, so I'll probably just swap them out with standard valve stems. But yeah, that's about it. Hope you found this helpful. If you stop by, I appreciate you stopping by. If not, maybe I'll catch you next time.